Thank you, Council. I know we run a little late the last meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce tonight our newest member of Council, Cameron Susi. He's our new rep. Congratulations and welcome to our Council. Cameron, I just want to say we're thrilled. We got another youth member. It was quite a while, and it's very nice you're here. My colleagues are looking forward to working with you, and I'm sure you're going to put all the input you need into our council. So congratulations. If you want to come up front, I'd like to get a picture of, and you could say a few words if you like first.
Right now?
Would you like to say a few words before you come up? Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to say thank you for this great opportunity of letting me on the Youth Council. I really appreciate it.
And we'd love to have you. So come on up front. If we have any media here, we'd like to take a picture of our new council member. And we'll move right along if our clerk is going to give a report on the closed meeting tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council met in closed session earlier this evening as permitted to do so under Section 239(2)(c) of the Municipal Act. At this meeting, Council received a verbal report from administration and discussion ensued concerning a town property located at the corner of County Road 15 and North Malden Road. And that's the extent of my report this evening.
Thank you, Rob. Is there any conflict of interest amongst council members tonight? Seeing none, we'll move right into adoption of published agenda.
Adoption of published agenda, through you, Mr. Chair, under adoption of published agenda, I just have one amendment, and that would be to item 8.5 on the agenda. The site plan control agreement should read in the proper corporate name of Canadian Tire Real Estate Investment Trust and not Canadian Tire Properties, Inc. So that's my only amendment, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So we need a mover, Councillor Bondi and Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor? Oh, go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you. When the time is right, I do have a notice of motion just to introduce for debate on the next council agenda.
Thank you. All in favor? It's carried.
5.1, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 18th, 2019 be adopted as circulated.
Have a mover, Deputy Mayor Malash, Councillor Verbeek. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried. Thank you.
5.2, that the minutes of the special council meeting of March 12th, 2019 be adopted as circulated.
Have a mover, Councillor Bjorkman and Councillor Bowman. Any questions on this one? All in favor? Carried.
And 5.3, that the minutes of the special council meeting of March 11th, 2019 be adopted as circulated.
Mover, please, Deputy Mayor Malash and Councillor Guerin. Any questions on this one? All in favor? It's carried.
8.1 on the agenda, Community Services 2019-10, that said report be received and that the 27th Annual Colchester Walleye Derby be approved for significant event status for their event to be held June 8th, 2019.
Mover, Councillor Bjorkman, Councillor Verbeek. Any questions? I have just one question. Now, following this year, is it the Rotary or the Kinsmen that's taken over here? Rob, do you know?
Oh, Doug.
To your worship, the Herald Rotary are taking over the Derby itself. The tent and that is still being operated by the Herald Kinsmen.
8.2, Community Services 2019-11, re-significant event status for the 32nd Essex Fun Fest. that said report be received, and that the 32nd Essex Fun Fest be approved for significant event status for the event scheduled July 4th to the 7th, 2019.
Have a mover, please. Councillor Bowman, seconder, Councillor Guerin. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried. Thanks.
8.3, Community Services, 2019-12, re-significant event status, that said report be received and that the McGregor Music Festival be approved for significant event status for the event scheduled on June 9th, 2019.
Deputy Mayor Malash, seconder, Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor? Carried.
8.4 on the agenda is Community Services, 2019-13, re-Essex Center Sports Complex parking lot, that said report be received and that council approves the engineering firm of Haddad Morgan and Associates Limited to provide engineering services for Phase 3 of the replacement of the Essex Center Sports Complex parking lot in accordance with the procurement bylaw.
Moved by Councillor Verbeek, seconder, Councillor Guerin. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried.
8.5 is Planning 2019-05, re-Canadian Tire Corporation Site Plan Control Application, and this is together with Bylaw 1781, providing for the Site Plan Control Agreement, that said report be received, and that council approves the rezoning of lands to permit the construction of a drive-through restaurant on the Canadian Tire property located at 300 Maidstone Avenue West, and accordingly that Bylaw 1781 to enter into the Site Plan Control Agreement be read a first, second, third time, and be finally passed this evening.
Before I ask for a motion, this is good news for the town of Essex. We should be proud. So could I get a mover? Councillor Bjorkman and Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions? Councillor Bjorkman.
Thank you, Worship. Just a quick question to Mr. Watson. Is there any timing that we can share?
Through Mr. Mayor, as soon as possible. They're ready to go.
Good, thank you. We do, before I ask for a vote, we do have a lot of good things. I'll tell the public. We have a lot of good things happening right now in this town. So, all in favor? It's carried.
8.6, Planning Report 2019-15, that said report be received and that council authorizes the partial release of securities for the Townsview subdivision in the sum of $15,816.33.
Mover, Councillor Bondi and Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried.
Item 9, any reports from our newly appointed youth member?
No new reports, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Item 10 on the agenda, any updates from County Council?
You got anything, Richard?
If anyone's interested, you can look at the agenda. It's posted now for public viewing. But the major thing that's going to be discussed on Wednesday, and it probably won't even be that thorough of a discussion, but is the pave and recycle pave for the county. So section of County Road 20 is being done, but it's not within the town of Essex right now.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All in favor? It's carried.
11.1, correspondence to be received on consent, that the correspondence listed in 11.1 be received and where suitable and indicated to further share with the community.
Well, if there's any questions, could I have a mover? Deputy Mayor Malash and Councillor Verbeek. Any questions on any of them? Deputy Mayor Malash.
Thank you. I just want to bring one letter up here, and that's the one from Richard and Judy Wirch. It's re-upgrading gravel roads to hard service. Old Malden Road is something that I brought up during budget that I would like to see done. It always seems that gravel roads are the ones that bite the bullet. If the repaving of gravel roads or the upgrading of gravel roads, in years where we want to have a parking lot paved, for instance, we're going to redo the arena parking lot, yet that's just for parking. So I believe that these taxpayers are paying the same tax rate as what anybody is that has a road within their community. whether or not they live in town or whether they live in a rural atmosphere, they should have the right to have a safe, hard road surface just as much as anybody else within the community. And some of these roads probably have higher traffic counts than some of the little cul-de-sacs or little turnaround avenues that we have. And we wouldn't think twice if it's in a developed area to have that hard surface. We would never say, let's leave it gravel. They never lived on a hard surface on this road. We put down gravel at the beginning. That's what they got used to. They bought a house on a gravel road. So I think it's really something that we need to look at. We haven't upgraded any roads for the last 2 years, this year included. And I think it's really something that we need to look strongly at in our budget for 2020. And just want to thank all those individuals that sent letters of concern in. Thanks.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and if I can just respond to that too, I agree with you 100%. We do have some heavy taxpayers, heavy ratepayers on some of these gravel roads. Just to give you an example, is one, the 6th concession in the south end. There's some heavy hitters out there in the tax, so I agree that we should be looking at, in the future, even if we did one road a year, you know, to try to get these roads tackled. So, thank you, Deputy Mayor.
.2.1, City of Quinte West resolution that said correspondence asking Essex Council to consider their initiative and encourage limited use of bottled water and promote the use of municipal drinking water be received or received and supported.
Have a motion to receive and...
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today we've had a discussion about water filling stations at our arenas. So it's something that we do have at both of our arenas. Councillor Verbeek brought it forward, and maybe perhaps she can elaborate on this, and maybe we can work on a marketing plan on how to get these refill bottled water stations out to the public, that we do have them.
Okay, all in favor of statement? It's carried.
.2.2, correspondence from the municipality of Leamington, long-distance scheduled intercommunity transit initiative, request for support. That said correspondence updating council on the status of the Leamington, Kingsville, Essex, Windsor transit route, and their request for a letter of support to be sent to the Ontario Highway Transit Board, be received or received and supported, and if supported, that that accordingly the proper letter of support be sent to the OHTB.
Good. Could I have some support there? Councillor Bjorkman, a seconder. Seconder, Deputy Mayor Malash. I can say before we vote on, this is a very good thing. This is a great project. This is a long time coming, and I think it's great. It's great. I think in the future this is going, if it works, it's going to expand, and I think in the long run it will cost each municipality money, but it's going to be well worth it, as far as I'm concerned. So, any questions from council? All in favor? It's carried.
Sorry, item 12, committee meeting minutes, that the minutes listed in agenda item 12, together with any recommendations noted, be received, approved, and adopted as circulated.
Have a mover, please. Deputy Mayor Malash. Seconder, Councilor Bowman. Any questions on these? All in favor? It's carried.
Item 15, notices of motion. The following two notices of motion were originally presented at the March 18th regular council meeting and are being brought forward for consideration this evening. The first notice of motion is Councillor Guerin, that the town sign bylaw 1350 be amended to require commercial property owners to remove or conceal business branding signs, windows, and doors within a reasonable period of time following the closure of a business. As moved by Councillor Guerin, would need a seconder.
seconder, Councillor Verbeek's going to second it. So, Joe, if you want, or Councillor, Karen, sorry about that.
Okay, through you, Mr. Mayor.
I think we're out in the,
So a couple weeks back, we did walkthroughs of Harrow Center and Essex Center, and I live in Essex Center, and I've noticed lots of businesses that no longer exist. They still promote business on their buildings or on their windows that imply to our visitors to our towns that they are open for business. So I know in other municipalities, they've considered those types of signage to be abandoned signage. So we're looking for, and I'm not really doing this motion to penalize existing property owners or businesses. It's more to try to encourage. It'd be nice if people come through a town and see a blank sign face as opposed to a sign for a business that hasn't existed in 10 years plus. So really, I'm looking for support from council to ask admin to come up with a fair and reasonable bylaw to help alleviate some of these problems. I know it's going to be a little bit of a task, but I think if we can make it work, maybe consult with some of the other municipalities that are enforcing it now, I think that'd be a starting point. Thank you.
thank you, Councillor. Just ask you, would you like to give direction to administration to see what the other municipalities do and bring it forward, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Councillor Bjorkman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't disagree with the sentiment of what we're trying to do here, but we had this discussion before, and we had it when I was with the BIA, as a matter of fact. Two issues. There is the issue that people drive through town, and they see signs, and those signs don't represent the actual business that's there. The alternative can be, when the people leave, they just take the sign out of the transom up top, and you got two big neon lights looking out at you. Or they take that sign and they flip it upside down, it's just a blank sign, and as you're driving along, it stands out that there's no business in that window. And when you have them scrape off the stickers that they put on the windows before they left, well, they don't quite get them all. And there's two sides to this look, and I think they just need to really be looked at carefully, both sides. Because the last time we looked at it, we decided that we really didn't want to enforce a change like that. So I understand what you're after, and the frustration of, somebody driving into town new, and they pull up to a sign and there it says Golden Girls Fashions, and there's nothing inside the store. But is that better than just driving along and going, well, there's nothing there, there's nothing, it just looks like nothing's there. So there's a aesthetic to it that having signs has at least that look of there's business being done, or is it better to have nothing in there? I think those two sides need to be looked at as we have administration look at it. It's worth doing, but we need to look at both of those and decide what we deem to be the best side to come out on. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions on this one? No. Okay. Need a motion, don't we?
We have a motion.
Okay. All in favor of that motion? It's carried.
And the second, through you, Mr. Chair, the second notice of motion that was originally presented March 18th is Mayor Snively, that administration prepare a report outlining process and steps in a detailed plan to move forward with rezoning Colchester Center from residential to commercial, as moved by Mayor Snively. Would need a seconder.
Get a seconder? Deputy Mayor Malash. Council, the reason I brought this for... Oh, okay.
Actually, you need to give the chair to sign.
Yeah, because he made the, Chair... No, you can't, no, because you second the motion.
Seconded?
Yeah, he seconded, so you give the chair to Councillor Bowman. Okay,
Okay, do you want to speak to it? Anybody else wishing to speak to it?
No.
Larry?
Thank you. Council, the reason I brought this forward is this has been in the making for probably years. There's been talk about it before. I was approached, along with Deputy Mayor Malash. We did meet with a group of people that are interested in seeing Colchester Center. Now, when I say Colchester Center, I'm talking the area between Erie and Dunn, the main drag. Now, I know it's going to affect some of the ratepayers that are not going to want to be rezoned. So I've asked Jeff this too, if there's some way we can look at this where the residential part of it is not affected by a tax increase. This is what the big concern I can see coming down. Or if we do it in small sections, if we do it like Jackson, County Road 50, that start in a small area there and then expand out. So, but we did, like I say, the deputy mayor and myself, we had some people that are, I would say they're shakers in our municipality. And the one interested party, I think if we did move forward on this, that we would see a big development, I think, in Colchester, which would benefit all of us. So this is why I brought it forward. And I spoke to a lot of people in the village, and a lot of people, I never had one resident yet say to me they were against it. They all thought it was a great idea. So all I'm doing tonight, I'm bringing it forward to council, and I like council input, what they think. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Councillor Bondi?
Thank you, Chair. I think it's a great idea, too. I think it's progressive, and I think we could get some little boutique shops set up there. If you go in Colchester around Explore the Shore Time, there's a lot of little unique businesses that may want to be zoned commercial. So I think Jackson Street is a really good fit, and it's all been part of the master plan. In the term 2010 to 2014, I think we had a plan that came to council that showed some zoning in Colchester Center. So I think it's a great idea, and I support the mayor's work on this and the deputy mayor's work on this, and let's just see where it goes. As long as if you're residential and you don't want to move, or you don't want anybody to buy you or be commercial, that you're allowed that opportunity too. But I think it's a right fit, because I think there's some hatchling businesses out there that would take advantage of this.
Anyone else? I'll call.
If I could just, one last thing.
I probably shouldn't, but I will.
Okay, thank you. I forgot to say this. The area itself is growing commercially all the way along. We have the wineries. We have a new business opening up, the Rec, down at the lake, and thanks to Councillor Bjorkman. I mean, the whole area, I've been approached by somebody that would like to put e-bikes out there, along that route. So it's a win. I think it's a win-win for us. So I'll leave it at that.
And I think the point is that it is to outline the process. It's not either or. So I think that's where we're looking at. So any other discussion? All those in favor? That motion's carried.
Thank you.
As added to the published agenda, this evening as 15.2 on the agenda is a notice of motion for presentment only to be presented by Councillor Bondi.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like council to discuss at the next council meeting that council give direction to administration to develop an affordable municipal housing strategy due to the urgent housing crisis in Windsor, Essex.
Thank you, Councillor.
Item 16, any reports and announcements from council members.
Councillor Bjorkman. Councillor Verbeek.
I have no new announcements, but I'll take my moment to again welcome Mr. Susi and thank you very much for stepping up and taking on this role. Welcome.
Thank you. Councillor Guerin. Deputy Mayor Malash. Councillor Bondi. Councillor Bowman.
I'd just like to comment, we, tonight, passed a motion authorizing significant events through the summer. Just shows that our summer festivals are starting up, and please support them, and both in attendance and help as they approach their due dates. So.
Thank you, Councilor. I only have one thing. I do have the tickets available for the June steak dinner out at Colchester. So I am going to give each councilor 5 of them, and hopefully they can sell 5 each. They're $200 a ticket. Last year we raised, I think it was $10,400 just on that one event. We did raise $48,000 for the event, and I think I'm right now already around 30,000. So we will be there, and it's going to be the fireworks again, and we're going to spend some time at the rec too that evening. Just give you a little boost there, Councilor. So, but anyways, I do have the tickets. So, but they're $200 a piece for a steak dinner, and a lot of people are saying $200, but they got to understand it's a fundraiser and it's an event for the family. So, thank you.
Item 17 this evening, bylaws. For third and final reading, 1796, being a bylaw to amend 1037. This is in reference to the Harold Junior School rezoning application.
Have a mover for that bylaw, Councilor Bondi and Councilor Bowman. All in favor? Carried.
1798, also for third reading this evening, the confirming bylaw from the March 18th regular council meeting.
Mover, Councilor Bowman and Councilor Bjorkman. All in favor? Carried.
For 3 readings this evening, bylaw 1794, being a bylaw to adopt the 2019 operating and capital budget.
Mover, Councilor Bowman and Councilor Guerin. All in favor? Carried.
And for 2 readings this evening, bylaw 1800, to confirm the proceedings of this April 1st, 2019 regular council meeting.
Mover, Councilor Verbeek and Councilor Bondi. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried. And can we have a motion to adjourn? Deputy Mayor Malash and Councilor Bowman. All in favor? Thank you, Council, and thank you, Administration, for all your work. Jeff, thank you for your reports tonight.